I think that is what's going to actually allow us for the time travel, not specifically the energy for like our craft or whatnot, in my opinion.
Now I'm listening. I'm actually trying to find. So I found this conversation with Dean Radin, Institute of Noetic Sciences. I was emailing him because I was trying to understand psychokinesis. Are you familiar? Are you familiar?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I first talked about this yesterday on a podcast I was doing. But so as a kid in class, whenever I noticed specifically when we would agree with things and everybody was like specifically, this is what Dean says. It's about coherent mind space, collective focused attention. So anytime that we would all agree with something or it seemed like we all understood it, the lights would flicker. And I was the only one that would notice things like this. And then there would be other times where I'd be alone and lights would just from far away, like it was a good 20, 30 feet, and I would trip. So I didn't think it was me. I was just like, what is causing this and why is it happening? But apparently they're doing studies on this, and it's part of the Global Consciousness Project. So if anyone cares, they can look that up. And it's about like true number generators, and you can like, everyone has their own computers from their home and stuff. So they're running experiments all the time. You have to pay to be part of it.
Yeah, but that's how they get you.
Yeah, I mean, I think they send you some stuff though, so you can like keep track of it, and you're contributing to research. So it's kind of cool. But my point is, it's about coherent mind space for these things. Like we don't know how it works completely yet, but we're also aware that we have psychic abilities that there's no funding, right? Like those government experiments are like hella under wraps.
Yeah, but I mean, remember we had that interview with David Morehouse, Dr. David Morehouse, and he was telling us about the remote viewing and how he was in the CIA, and he absolutely, this is absolutely real. Like there's funding, but it's kind of like that black budget funding for these types of things. And there's plenty of documents that have been declassified in which they were, it talks about the remote viewing.
Grabbing a book. Keep going.
I'll wait for you.
The Resurrection of the Mysterious. So Ingo Swann. The original remote viewer.
Exactly. Yeah. And so these kinds of things have been there's documented, we want to say evidence, right? Because
I mean, they're showing you how to do it. There's like a whole manual on how to remote view out here.
Yeah, I think let's just say documented research. Go that far. There's documented research in this phenomena of remote viewing. So these kinds of things are, for any skeptics out there, they're at least there's been research, and you can decide for your own if you believe it or not. I definitely believe it's possible, absolutely. And hearing the testimony of David Morehouse and other people, I was absolutely agree that it is possible. Now there are some people that think that and I said psychokinesis, but then there's people that believe that they have the ability for telekinesis. Now, a lot of people I've seen online,
it's like a 1 in a billion thing, and people that do have these abilities don't tell anybody.
Sure, I mean, absolutely. I think that people online that are like, I can move things with my hand, it's like they're air bending, right? Like they're air bending a piece of foil or something that they shoot out, and that's silly.
I mean,
and then
the closest that's actually been documented is like Uri Geller.
Oh, yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was Israeli, and he was doing it on national television, dude. But the thing is, when you're under pressure, just like you would expect, it's a lot harder. Yeah. It's a lot harder to perform. But like when you're with people, when you're friends, and you're relaxed mind state, and he basically would describe it as becoming one with the table. So he would have both hands on his table, and then just like literally be focusing on like move, like telling himself to move, and everybody would have the same, I guess, purpose, the same intent, and doing the same mantras in their heads, so that the table would move.
Didn't they end up levitating that table?
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah. It's that kind of brings up a question of, can some of this only be done when it's not observable?
I think it's deeper than that, actually. I think it goes to show the power of collaboration straight up, like how much further humans can like have an impact in like their surroundings, daily lives and shit. But people don't work together.
Like if like people praying collectively.
Oh, hell yeah.
Kind of thing.
That was crazy. Dude, the research on that, where they've prayed and then violence has stopped within radiuses with prayer, that is nuts. Yeah, that's been proven. So that in itself is enough to teach people why meditation is important. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to, dude, even me, as an avid meditator. It's very hard just for me to imagine meditating with you. You know what I mean? Like for the other people, like doing that with anybody is weird. It's just not normal. But think of all the other cultures that are like, it's whatever.
Yeah, like you know, we've talked about this part before. The monks that can raise their body temperatures and dry out wet towels that are put around them.
Yeah, Dynamo Jack, you gotta look him up. Dynamo Jack, he was literally healing people, dude.
Yeah, how?
So it was like a super deep training of meditation that he was going in for 20 years. And then what's even crazier was whenever he would be doing his abilities in public, he would have nightmares of his master telling him, like, you fucking broke the code, basically. Like, what are you doing? You're dishonoring me. And then he would wake up with like literal cuts or whatever, like pain. I think it was basically inflicting in the physical realm of what he was doing by exposing his powers. And like, here's what it was. It's the ego that you're getting involved in it. Once you get fame involved and you're like doing it for the wrong reasons and you're showing off your abilities, bro, that's the same reason people got stoned in history. If you're walking on a beach and you see a motherfucker levitating, nobody's like, hey, how you doing that? They're just like, yo, that's a demon. I can't do that.
Yeah. I think if you saw someone walking on water these days,
oh, for sure. And
yeah, same thing.
Joseph was documented flying in the church, literally flying. Accounts of flying. Like they had to go out and get testimonies of people all reporting the same shit.